Picture this. High above the ancient world, a hero mounted on a winged horse clashes with fierce warrior women in a battle that defies the very laws of nature. This is the legendary encounter between Bellerophon and the Amazons, one of Greek mythology's most spectacular aerial confrontations. In the Bronze Age world of ancient Greece, stories weren't just entertainment. They were the foundation of culture, explaining everything from natural phenomena to moral principles. These tales emerged from a civilization that valued honor, courage, and the complex relationship between mortals and gods. The Greeks believed that heroes served as bridges between the human and divine realms, facing impossible challenges that ordinary people could only dream of confronting. Our story centers on Bellerophon, grandson of the cunning Sisyphus and one of mythology's greatest heroes. Unlike many legendary figures born from divine unions, Bellerophon was entirely mortal, yet destined for extraordinary deeds. His name means Slayer of Belleros, referencing an early feat that established his reputation as a formidable warrior. But Bellerophon's true claim to fame wasn't just his skill with sword and spear. It was his partnership with the most magnificent creature in all of Greek mythology. Pegasus, the immortal winged horse, was born from the blood of the Gorgon Medusa when Perseus severed her head. This divine steed possessed snow-white wings that could carry riders beyond the reach of earthbound mortals, into the realm of the gods themselves. For years, Pegasus roamed free, allowing no one to mount him. The goddess Athena, recognizing Bellerophon's pure heart and heroic potential, provided him with a golden bridle that would tame the magnificent beast. The moment Bellerophon first mounted Pegasus marked the beginning of one of mythology's greatest partnerships. Together, they soared through ancient skies, accomplishing feats that seemed impossible to ground-bound mortals. Their most famous victory was against the Chimera, a fire-breathing monster with the head of a lion, body of a goat, and tail of a serpent. But this triumph was merely preparation for an even greater challenge. The Amazons represented everything that challenged traditional Greek society. These warrior women lived beyond the known world, in lands where normal rules didn't apply. They were daughters of Ares, the god of war, and the nymph Harmonia. Unlike Greek women, who lived in domestic spheres, Amazons ruled themselves, fought their own battles, and answered to no man. They were master archers, skilled horsewomen, and fearless in combat. Led by queens whose names struck fear across the ancient world, the Amazons built a civilization based entirely on martial prowess. They cut off their right breast to draw their bows more effectively, earning them their name, which means without breast. Their society was the mirror opposite of Greek culture, where women were expected to remain in domestic roles, while men handled warfare and politics. When King Iobates of Lycia commanded Bellerophon to defeat the Amazons, it seemed like an impossible task. These weren't ordinary soldiers or monsters. They were an entire nation of warrior women who had never known defeat. Their reputation for ferocity in battle was matched only by their skill with weapons. No army had ever successfully conquered their homeland. But Bellerophon possessed something no previous challenger had: the ability to fight from the sky. Mounted on Pegasus, he could attack from angles the Amazons had never encountered. This aerial advantage would prove crucial in the coming battle. The confrontation began when Bellerophon and Pegasus appeared over the Amazon stronghold like a divine apparition. The warrior women, initially startled by this unprecedented sight, quickly regained their composure. These were daughters of the war god, after all, and fear was foreign to their nature. What followed was unlike any battle in mythological history. The Amazons, master archers all, sent volleys of arrows skyward, their bronze points glinting in the sunlight. But Pegasus was no ordinary target. The immortal horse wheeled and danced through the air with supernatural grace, avoiding the deadly barrage while allowing Bellerophon to rain down his own attacks from above. The Amazon queens, recognizing the threat this aerial warrior posed, organized their forces with military precision. Some continued the archery barrage, while others mounted their war horses, attempting to follow the flight patterns and predict where Bellerophon might descend. Their tactical brilliance was evident, but they were fighting an entirely new kind of warfare. Bellerophon, wielding his spear from Pegasus's back, struck with divine precision. Each pass over the Amazon lines brought devastation to their ranks. The hero's mortal skill, enhanced by his divine mount's supernatural abilities, proved overwhelming. Arrow after arrow whistled past them, but none found their mark. The battle raged across the sky and ground, a spectacular display of courage and skill on both sides. The Amazons fought with the fury of cornered lionesses, their war cries echoing across their homeland. But gradually, the tide turned in favor of the aerial warrior. Bellerophon's strategic advantage, combined with Pegasus's divine nature, proved decisive. As the Amazon forces began to falter, their queens made a final desperate gambit. They called upon their divine father Ares to intervene. But the gods had already chosen their champion. Athena's favor rested with Bellerophon, and her divine protection shielded both hero and horse from the war god's wrath. The defeat of the Amazons established Bellerophon as one of mythology's greatest heroes. But this victory carried deeper meaning than mere military triumph. It represented the Greek belief that civilization, represented by the hero, must ultimately prevail over the forces of chaos and foreignness, symbolized by the Amazons. Yet the story also reveals Greek admiration for worthy opponents. The Amazons weren't portrayed as evil monsters, but as honorable warriors fighting for their homeland. Their defeat was tragic as well as triumphant, reflecting the complex Greek understanding of heroism and conflict. This tale explores themes that resonate across cultures and centuries. The partnership between Bellerophon and Pegasus represents the harmony possible between mortal determination and divine favor. Their aerial combat showcases how innovation and adaptation can overcome seemingly impossible odds. The story also reflects ancient attitudes toward gender and power. The Amazons represented both fascination and fear regarding women who wielded martial authority. Their defeat reinforced traditional Greek gender roles while acknowledging the formidable nature of feminine power when unleashed. Bellerophon's victory over the Amazons influenced countless works of art and literature throughout history. Renaissance painters depicted the aerial battle in magnificent frescoes and canvas works. Modern fantasy literature draws heavily on this image of mounted aerial combat, from dragon riders to flying cavalry. The tale's influence extends beyond entertainment into military strategy and technological development. The concept of aerial superiority, demonstrated mythologically by Bellerophon and Pegasus, became reality with the development of military aviation. Modern air forces trace their conceptual lineage back to stories like this one. Today, the story of Bellerophon and the Amazons reminds us that true heroism often requires more than individual strength or courage. It demands the wisdom to recognize when divine help is needed, the humility to accept guidance, and the skill to make the most of extraordinary opportunities. The partnership between hero and winged horse teaches us about the power of unlikely alliances and the importance of mutual trust in achieving the impossible. Their aerial victory over the Amazons remains one of mythology's most spectacular examples of how innovation, courage, and divine favor can overcome any obstacle. This ancient tale continues to inspire us because it captures something eternal about human nature. Our desire to soar beyond limitations, to face impossible challenges, and to achieve victories that seemed beyond our reach.